Welcome to episode 3 of the not the growth challenge, but this season of growth, Fatty Cakes podcast with myself. I'm your host, Fatty.
And I'm Cakes, and welcome to the Fatty Cakes podcast.
So this growth challenge check-in, you been doing your growth challenge check-in?
I've been doing it.
Growth challenge check-in. So Shauna, what is your weekly goal for this week?
My weekly goal for this week was to meditate more, and I failed miserably today. But I'm gonna get back on track tomorrow.
Okay, well, my weekly goal this week was, and I expressed this on Snapchat too, if you follow me on Snap, but it was to just spend more time with God and to pray 3 times a day. And so far, I have been extremely successful with praying 3 times a day. So shout out to me. Um, so our guest that we have here today, so sitting with me, y'all know Keon. But for those of you who do not know Keon, Keon is my baby. This is my cousin and my friend. So, Keon,
Yes. I'm Keon, and my Instagram is Keon K. And just check us out.
tell the people about yourself for those who don't know you. Everybody don't know you.
Okay. Well, again, I'm in social work. I have my master's in social work. I've been doing social work for about 6 years, and I graduated from the prestigious baby. Yeah, prestigious. Sorry, prestigious South Carolina State University and Winthrop University.
Okay, then.
Well, welcome, Keon. We're so
Thank
glad
you.
to have you.
Glad to be here.
Pam.
Wait
We
a minute.
can't
First
hear
things first. Can somebody play some of that fancy music in the background? Can y'all
music.
play some of that fancy music? I need it. Yes, I need fancy music because, yeah.
What?
Anyways, hi,
Girl,
Facebook. My
pie.
name is Pam. Pam the police. I
Yes.
am a police
Well,
officer in Dillon, South Carolina. The mother of Peyton. Um, yeah.
that's my nephew.
Straightforward, everybody know me. My mouth is very raw. Don't
That's
care
why
what
we
I
got
say or
her
how
here,
I
y'all.
fit.
Yeah,
So
very reckless.
it is
That's
what it
why we
is.
have her here for this episode of Is It Me? Because her being my friend, a lot of times, well, both of them actually, that's why they here because these two
It's
right
definitely
here
us.
is definitely them and they have a hard time. No, well, Pam has a hard time realizing it's her, but Keon be knowing. But the thing with Keon is he just don't he
You
don't
don't
care.
care. Yeah.
So
I don't have a hard time knowing this. I be knowing it's me sometimes.
okay, so here we are. We're gonna get so we're gonna dig deep into Is It Me? So we got a lot of different topics, like just life topics in general that we're gonna talk about because sometimes we have to take accountability for our actions.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because it's not always the other
And some
person.
of y'all don't know how to do that.
Including you.
Y'all don't know how to do that.
Good.
All right.
Sometimes. 50-50, baby.
Lord have mercy. Well, now that we are done with the growth challenge, can we recap on the last 2 episodes? We need to talk about first, we did the inspiration. So we finally released our first ever episode. And it was dope. It was difficult, but it was dope.
Very much so difficult because it was like 3 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning,
Well,
doing the behind the scenes. So that was a lot.
yeah,
That
true.
was definitely a lot.
And then family ties. Let us know if you listened already in the comments because I'm looking. But let us know what you thought about it. And
Oh yeah, family ties. Like, let's talk about that. Let's talk about family ties. Real
Wait a
quick.
minute, Shauna. Wait, who all looking? Because I can't log into Facebook.
right now, I have Jada, Celicia, Taylor, Paige, Tiana, and Tisa, and Carisha. These
Pam wants to
are
be on
people.
Facebook, y'all.
They know you.
The people
Oh,
gonna
my
see you.
password.
the people gonna see you whether it's now or
Or
The people
Monday.
later.
don't want to see
Or
you.
later.
The people
Right.
don't want to see you, to be honest. You gave
Okay,
out
so
enough.
somebody said family ties hit different.
I know they hate me.
Okay, family ties. Let's bring it back. So family ties definitely hit home for me. And so what's crazy is today I just happened to so let me actually read the post because I want to read the post verbatim what it said, and it really, like, I wish that I would have saw the post when we did family ties on last week, because that definitely hit home. So give me 1 second so I can tell you exactly what it said because I
Mhm.
posted it today. So it says, trigger warning. A lot of women, especially Black women, have been sexually assaulted in their childhood and even adulthood. So before you call her crazy, understand if she loves you, you trigger her emotions. She might call you a lot because she had abandonment issues. She
Mhm.
might flash out a lot because she's used to being met with more anger in response, etc. Learn the girl.
Mhm.
Period.
So that right there just touched bases with me a lot because I know we spoke about like those family secrets and
Mhm.
like just molestation and how that's just like
Mhm.
swept up under the rug and our families, and they gotta stop.
Mhm.
True.
And what happens in this house stays in this house, and
Yes.
all kind of, yeah.
Girl.
But you know what though, that is a habit that I picked up
Mhm.
as an adult because my mom used to say what happens in this house stays in this house, and as an adult I picked
Mhm.
that up
You know
like,
what happened in this house? Go to therapy, baby. Don't play with me.
Right.
Don't play
Come
with
on
me,
with it.
girl.
What happens in this house goes to therapy. Period. Okay. So, sidebar. The Gorilla Glue girl. She under investigation, y'all.
Mm-mm.
as she should be.
She should be crazy ass.
Well, they said she donated
Head
the
was on
money.
fire.
Um, she
So
donated
they
$20,000.
investigating her GoFundMe account, and she gonna have to pay all that money back. And it
Well,
was
she donated it.
well, she gonna have to
That's
pay
what I
it back
know.
some
She
kind
got
of
some.
help. It was 23K.
Mm,
And I
Well,
need
she
that
got a
right now.
brand new Mercedes, brand new
mm-mm.
whip, got no keys.
If I
That,
gotta do, if I
wait a
gotta,
minute, Fatty. Don't do that no more. Don't do
I
that
don't
no
know
more.
now, cause she
That
got
was
a lot of
corny.
money off that. I might have would have chipped all my damn hair out too. I don't know. Let me see. I gotta think that through. But
Okay.
she got that money on.
She got it,
Yes, she
but
did.
whatever.
Yeah, I said don't do that no more.
Don't do that no more. And then
Y'all
you was
know.
like, that was corny.
Mm-mm.
Don't do that no more.
Corvette. All right, moving
Um,
on.
Okay, so let's get into why we decided to do this episode. Hmm.
um, well, for me, it was just like, I know for me, I was taking accountability for a lot of things that was happening in my life, and I just stopped blaming people and see like where I went wrong as a person, as a girlfriend, as a friend,
Oh Lord.
and that's how, well, that's when the self-improvement began for myself. So it's just like looking at yourself and seeing, is it me?
Mhm.
So
True. I think that's kind of what we both thought. And just a part of growth in general is being accountable when with your actions outside of other situations and sources. So this episode is very, very, very important because we have a tendency to not look at what we did in the situation and point the blame at everybody else for what they did to us. So we like to play victim when it benefits us.
Mhm.
So we continue to do so until somebody tell us, like, hey, you in the wrong. But
hmm,
we'll get into that too
Mhm.
later.
okay.
So,
So
okay.
so just some little icebreakers, to kind of like see like, is it me? So first things first, it takes a lot, to look at ourselves and be like, okay, yeah, I messed up, because naturally it's just easier to just be like, no, well, he did this, so this is why I did that. It shouldn't, like, why does it always have to be a because? Somebody did this because, so now I did this because, okay, but you still did it.
Mhm.
True. So when you gonna own up to it
Mhm.
is the issue. I don't know. I think a part of the reason why people don't like to take the blame for stuff is because a lot of it is ego.
Mhm.
A lot of it is ego and pride
Not
and
even ego. It's
people not wanting to be wrong.
some people just what's the word? Fucked up. They are just fucked up people. So that's why I'm trying to figure out because I'm not all the way fucked up. I have a heart and I do know when I'm wrong. So I'm just like 40% fucked up, 60,
Wait with the self-diagnosis because what? How do you know it's 60/40?
because I'm not all the way fucked up. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Okay. So I have a question then. So I want you guys to think about the question before you answer. So, what role did you play in a situation that did not go the way that you wanted it to go?
Mm.
So think about that. Everybody, like those of you who are watching, like what role did you play in a situation and things still didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to? But you still had some fault in it. So just think about a situation where, okay, yeah, I had something. This was my fault too.
Mhm.
I just can't totally put it on this person.
Oh, I have one.
Let's hear it.
It was a situation with me and this friend that I was dealing with, and he was a real nice guy. Um, and we got into it. It was about something like really small, but I went from 0 to 100. And when I went to 100, when you get there, people don't really accept it. You know what I'm saying? They don't receive it well. It's not about what you say, it's how you say it, and your intentions
That's
and your
big.
impact could be totally different. So I went to 100 and told him all, blocked him. He was because when I say what I got to say, oh baby, that's it. That's the end. Because I'm gonna block that ass
I
quick.
can only imagine.
I'm gonna go
I
ahead
can
and
only
bless you
imagine.
out,
What the world?
lay you out, and you blocked. So you ain't got to worry about speaking to me. So, but anyway, a couple weeks had passed, and I reached back out to him, and I told him I apologized for my fault in it. I was
You
like,
did that?
I did, girl. Yes,
Oh!
I did. I said I apologize. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I said I apologize, and I said, well, is it too much for us to meet back up and talk about it? And he said we can meet, and we met. But the energy that he presented when he got here, it was just like, no, I couldn't do it.
Bad
It was
vibes.
bad vibes, and the energy was fucked up. So I kept burning sage in his face because I'm like, hey,
What?
I'm trying to see if there's something I could do to change
Yeah,
the
I
energy.
would slap the shit out you.
I'm burning fucking sage in his face, girl, burning it. So he said, so I'm sitting up there apologizing, telling him what I'm apologizing for. And he wasn't really trying to hear it. He was like not really, he act like he was accepting of it, but it really his energy was off. And he sat there and let me like talk through my story and say I apologize. And he didn't even apologize for his fault in
Mm.
anything. And so that's what let me knew like, okay, it may not be what I thought it was.
But you
Well,
still owned up
But I
to
still
it.
owned up to
yeah,
it.
I'm proud of you
It
apologizing
worked out
because
because
that's big.
I thought that by me, calling him over, extending the olive branch to apologize, that it was going to go like, oh, he was going to accept my apology and we was going to talk through our differences and we was going to end up, making it better. But his energy was so bad when, he came over, it didn't come out like I thought it would. Mm-mm.
Mm.
But you still took the initiative. So to
Yeah.
me, that's the part, and realizing like, okay, is it
Mm-hmm.
me because you
Mm-hmm.
made the necessary steps to figure out if
Mm-hmm.
you played a part in it. So
Right.
the way that they receive it, they don't got nothing
Right.
to do with you. That's on
Right.
them, not you.
My feelings was hurt though because I really thought that we was gonna like, you
Work that
know,
out.
work it out.
So
So
With your
I
man.
tried to
Pamela,
cut it back out again, but I
Hold
ain't
on,
do it.
we got a comment. So somebody said, I can't say, Jada said, I don't have a certain situation, but I used to have the hurt people mindset, meaning if someone hurt me, I was going to hurt them harder.
Mhm.
so that is crazy
I'm still
because
doing that. I'm
so
still
No, that
doing
ain't me.
okay, so I had to grow from that, honestly, because that was me. Tit for tat. You do something to me, no, I'm gonna do it back. But y'all, the universe has a crazy way of working. So I just let the
it.
universe deal with
Mm-hmm.
people at this point because you don't have to do anything to a
Mm-hmm.
person. Like they gonna get it back. And
Mm-hmm.
it may not be right now, it may not be later, or it may not even be to them. But best believe they gonna feel the
Gonna
same
come
hurt
back
you did,
around.
if not worse.
Mm-hmm.
So Jada, let the universe handle it.
Please.
That's what I would say.
I don't do tit for tat. I
Now,
don't do tit for tat.
I used to. I don't have the energy for it now
Mm-mm.
though.
I don't do tit for tat, but I
Right.
get you back, and it's two what you did to
That's tit
me.
for tat. Y'all are
No,
crazy.
it
That is
ain't no
tit
tit for tat
for
because
tat.
kind of a tit for tat is back and forth. So
Is
you know what I'm saying? You back and forth. No, you do your little one thing, and I
no,
do my big thing. I do my big
it's not.
tipper and get you back, and I block you, and that's it. You don't get you. I revoke all contact. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, phone, whatever.
But
You
Keon,
want?
you ain't even got to do all that. Like
Oh, baby, I
you ain't
revoke
got to do
that.
all that because if you 100 and your energy, if your energy is there, that person gonna miss. They gonna miss that. You ain't got to do
Right?
tit for
Yeah.
tat. They already know what they lost.
True.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's right.
I
Oh,
So
like that.
listen at
I
Pam,
revoke.
please.
oh, because
So
baby, ain't no
Pam the
man that I
police
had don't want this that.
Girl, have a
So
nice day.
go ahead.
because what? But okay, so Pam, like, is there a
No,
time
for
where
real,
you had to, like take fault in a situation?
baby. I got so many. You already know this. I'm crazy. So first of all, I got I got too many. I done did some. It's definitely.
Okay.
Hold on. It's breaking up.
I can't even. I don't even. You want to hear? You want to hear about one
Yes,
particular?
give us one in particular.
Right before you fix your
Why?
Wi-Fi.
Why?
Give us one after you fix your Wi-Fi.
Y'all can hear me,
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yeah.
baby. My Wi-Fi is good.
Okay.
Y'all can hear me now.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So definitely one time I had this toxic guy that I've been talking to for a long time. Um, he was the problem, but I was the problem too. So we both was there. Definitely went and did some illegal shit, said some shit, had to turn around and apologize or whatever. I don't really want to go all into details because y'all
But
gonna be
okay,
like this.
so I guess my question to you is like, how did you go about the apology though? Did you do it at
Oh,
ease, or
I just apologize. I
was it at
waited a
ease,
couple of
or was it still like,
yeah.
okay?
It was definitely, it took time because I felt like I was the one that was the victim in the situation when I was part of the problem. But it definitely took time, and I apologize, of course.
So okay, and one thing I just want to say because it popped in my head, and when it comes to apologizing, like, and I feel like for a sincere apology, um, because because I do this too, like I'll apologize, but I still will say but, and try
There
to
is no but in an
and try to
apology.
find
Yeah.
a
Justifying.
reason for me to be apologizing instead of just owning
Mhm.
up to, like, so stop trying to blame the other person
Mhm.
whenever you are
Mhm.
apologizing, because that makes it less sincere. Just say I'm sorry for what I did, and if they don't apologize for what they did, or if you want them to
Mhm.
apologize and they don't, so be it. Like, you did your
Mhm.
part. But yeah, because I was doing that too.
Yeah, that's what I had to think about after the situation because I felt stupid after I studied the olive branch to apologize for, you know, saying how I felt, or I apologized for my delivery, and he didn't even
Mm,
like acknowledge, because I understand, I know what my intentions were, but my impact on him was totally different. So it kind of I had to think about that and check myself, and I did.
that's good.
Salisha said, apologize and forgive yourself
Keon check
first.
himself.
I did. I had to check my underwear.
So,
Feel a little shitty, honey.
so,
I had to check them.
Look,
Felicia said what now? I
Oh,
cannot read.
Keon, why you?
Mhm.
Could you read that comment again, Shauna?
she said, apologize and forgive yourself first. Now, I agree with that because I feel like, how can you go and give a sincere apology if you don't even forgive yourself for that
Mm.
situation? So the apology is not going to be sincere.
Right.
I
You
need
definitely
to
got to
make a
forgive
note of
yourself
that
first.
because,
Mhm.
like, out of all my meditating and praying and, like, reaching a better me, like, I've never forgiven myself for anything.
Mhm.
And I think that's big. Like, now since you think
Mhm.
about that, like, I've never forgiven myself.
So you really ain't even forgive the people.
Right.
Truly,
So you just
like you
let
really
it
ain't
go,
forgive the
or
people
you're not going
because
to be
you.
liberated.
Uh,
I kind of would say I kind of agree with what you all saying. If you're saying, because I think forgiveness and healing is um two different things. Like you can I feel like she forgave them, but I feel like in order to heal, she's got to forgive herself.
Yes. Okay.
So that's how I think they kind of play off each other like that.
Okay, because I was about to say now I thought I forgave these people. Like I ain't holding no grudges with these people. Like I'm over it. Like this is in the past. Okay, so now that makes sense. All right. So Shauna, like, what's a
Okay, yeah.
situation where you had to like take accountability for your actions?
Well, my biggest situation will be addressed on Hash It Out. But there was a moment where I let another friend cloud my judgment
Mm.
about one of my close friends. And I allowed that to taint that friendship. So in my mind, that it was my fault that that friendship ended because I listened to somebody else who was not really meshing well with the other person that I was friends with. So
A
I
hating
should have
ass.
take my accountability in that part would be saying like, okay, you do what you want with this friendship because that's your friendship that you develop outside of this other person, regardless of what they feel, say, or whatever. So my part in that was I kind of just listened to that other friend and I just shut off that other friendship when I could have just communicated about it or talked about what was bothering me. But instead, I just let the shit go and was like, look, I don't need to be friends with her. I don't need no friends. Love, the same stuff we always say in our head when pride and ego come up. And I feel bad about it now because then I haven't grown into the person that I am now. So I couldn't see that then. But now it's like you literally missed out on 2 years of friendship from being petty.
Mm.
Mhm.
Ooh, and just kind of to
Hmm.
rebuttal on what you just said because we were going to talk about that.
Right.
Um, so it's about so the reason that your friend, like fed that to you about your other friend is because your friend knew what your spirit wanted at that time. So they fed your spirit the negativity whenever your friend should
That
have
part.
been talking life and positivity into you, but your friend saw your energy. Well, your friend saw your energy and was like, oh yeah, like now is a good time for me to, and that's not the way that friendship should
Must have
work.
been an Aquarius.
I think in that moment, what I was doing was like seeking validation for me being wrong. Because, we do that a lot when you don't feel like you're wrong in a situation. So you go to a friend, gonna feed that spirit.
You go to the
Mhm.
weak friend.
Mhm.
Okay. And that's not the person to go
I don't do
to.
that though.
You
But you
don't.
know
I
what? Too, I
never
feel like
go.
if you gotta go to
I don't.
somebody. Go ahead, Pam. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, you go ahead, baby. I'm listening. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you gotta go to somebody and ask them for what they feel about the situation, then sometimes that maybe I
Mm.
may have played a little part in it. Just like they ask you
You're
if you go to
right.
work and you got to ask is your skirt too short? It's too short. If you got to
Y'all,
question it.
I'm shaking
And
because
Y'all
it's
Preach.
so
talking. Y'all
you
true.
know
talking
what
to
I'm
me.
saying? So if you got to go and ask your friend, you think I was wrong? Yeah, you was fucking wrong. So stop playing with me. And then, you know what I'm saying? You just got to figure it out from there. Because when you know you right, I'm not really calling to get your opinion on the situation. I'm just calling you to tell you about the
Right.
Mm,
So
situation.
you
I'm not
can
saying
so you can be like, oh girl, you was right. Like
yeah.
it's a validation
that's
thing.
true.
Yeah.
But that's why you gotta have that one. I don't know, like I don't know. Just go ahead, Pam, and just say what you was gonna say.
I mean, I always go to somebody about the situation, whether I'm right or wrong. Like I always want to hear other people's opinions. I like hearing opinions about stuff. So
But is
yeah,
it an
that's just
opinion
me.
or are you really seeking for somebody to tell you if you're right or wrong? Because
It's
I
definitely an
feel like
opinion.
from when we were friends, even if
I
you
don't be
were,
wrong all the time.
huh?
I don't always be wrong.
Nobody is saying that you always wrong. The issue is if somebody is telling you that
Okay.
you're wrong, are you going to take that advice or are you going to ponder on
Yeah,
it?
She just gonna
I
call
do.
more people to try to,
I might.
tally it out.
And Pam do that though. That's why I
See, I
I
told
ain't
know
you.
that damn bad
Pam
now.
You gonna call like
Patty,
literally.
I do that for real.
No, okay, listen, Pam. Like, and y'all, this is just off the record, outside of the show. Pam, okay, like for instance, let's say she'll call Risha, and she'll call me and be like, "Okay, well, I just told Risha this. Listen to this." Like, and I'm like, "Okay, like what? Like you do that?
It's
Like,
like the best 2 out of 3. Like if 2 people say I was wrong, then I must have been wrong. But shit, if they say I was right, then I was right.
so you do that, like, and that's keep
That's
it real.
hard. That's sad.
You do that,
Mm.
but so like just a time where I had to, take accountability where you know, I've so I had this little incident with an old friend. Um, Things got kind of physical, and he's a guy or whatever, but things got kind of physical, and it's because I hit first, and he hit back, and then I'm like, wait a minute, like boys are not supposed to hit girls, like you can't do that. But then after I sat in my adult self and resonated on, I'm like, nah, like you really can't hit. Like I know men are taught not to hit women, but it's not okay for you to hit a man either. So I took accountability in that. Now it's not right, but I hit first. And my reason for hitting was because this person did something to me. So that was my excuse. Well, I did it because they did this. And if I would have thought about it more instead of, like reacting off of impulse, then it probably would have never escalated to that, honestly. So I take, fault in that. And the other person as well took fault in the situation too. But that's just like a good incident where I could,
Oh, you
elaborate
remember
on.
when we was little and I was jumping double dutch better than you, and you gonna fucking hit me, girl? I said, girl, you better stop hitting me. I said, you better stop hitting me.
And I
Girl,
kept
she kept on hitting me,
hitting
kept on
you.
hitting me. Girl, I took my motherfucking fist. You remember how Oprah, what's it? Oprah did it on The Color Purple. She knocked his ass out in that field, honey. And she said, get my children out of here. Honey, she had them damn bowls in her head, honey. I took that goddamn fist and wind that bitch up and her goddamn
I'm
head,
sick
honey,
of this
knocked them
boy.
out. Knocked them
And
clean
no
the fuck
way.
out.
And what my mama say?
Go on home now. You go home. Don't come back around here today.
Listen.
Y'all
And
crazy.
I don't know what my problem was though. I always wanted to hit boys and fight boys. I fought everybody in the projects. Everybody. I don't know what my problem was.
We didn't stay in the project, so I don't know why
We
you
did fight a lot, and I wasn't even outside.
She couldn't come
Girl, you
outside.
could.
She couldn't come
Child,
outside.
please.
I
Okay.
definitely fight
Everybody
men.
mama done got cussed out by me, honey. Everybody mama got cussed out. Everybody.
Okay. So so another question for us to elaborate on, getting back on topic. So do you seek validation from others even when you know you're wrong? So we kind of just talked about that. But honestly speaking, I know I have. Like, and I always go to that person, like, so prime example, my sister Tisa, whatever wave I'm on, she on. So when I want somebody to be on my side, I am going to call Tisa because right or wrong, she can be like, oh no, yeah, you was right. You was right. And then after the situation will calm down, she'll come back and be like, now Fatty, now you know you was wrong, right? But I only did it because you might. So, but I know to call Tisa. So I got my person. So I do that.
True. I think everybody do it.
Definitely don't have
At the end
a
of the day,
person
you're human.
that do that. Everybody tell me when I'm wrong. I don't like that. Tisa, I need you.
When I'm wrong, I don't even
I need
ask nobody.
Tisa.
Because you
I already know
know.
when I ask you a question, I already know the answer to it. So it's just like, I already know when I'm wrong. So I'm just calling to talk, really and truly. I'm just calling to laugh about it because I already know I was wrong. Don't fuck that up. So let's laugh about it. Then a couple weeks later, I'll go back and I apologize. I always do. People don't believe me, but I really always apologize. When I know I'm wrong, I probably wait a little bit.
Because
But I
you
do
waited
always,
years
yeah.
for me. No, it was like a year. No, you stalked me for a long time. I just want to talk to you.
Girl, please.
You did.
I said
That was kind of funny though. Keon was mad.
girl,
Keon was mad.
girl.
Oh
I'm
Lord.
the wrong bitch to get, honey, because I'm a keep on.
Y'all, that motherfucker a clown.
Okay.
Patty
All right. So I think one thing that we forget to do is just actually, because okay, people just don't react for no reason. That's first things first. People react because of something. Something is a trigger, regardless if it's you or anything else. So
Mhm.
I think we have to like ask ourselves, like if a person is constantly doing this one thing to you or making you upset or something like
Mhm.
that. So now it's time for you to take accountability. Like, okay, so what am I doing for this one
Mhm.
person to keep, like pushing my buttons, like to trigger
Mhm.
me? So, because it's not always that person.
Because
Mhm.
what you allow is what will continue. If you
Then
keep
also,
allowing somebody to push that button or to overstep a boundary that you supposedly set up, then that's going to continue because they see that you're allowing them to do that.
Mm.
It's like a person
That's on you
who is,
after that.
what you say? What did you say, Pam?
Hmm. I said, and that's on you after that.
True.
right. Mhm.
Very true. So it's
But I was
like,
gonna
again, back to boundaries.
Boundaries.
yes, yes, for sure.
Very important word.
And I'll tell you this: what I was thinking too, like if whether it's a friendship or a relationship, when you put off, they know your triggers because you've basically shown them your triggers.
Mm.
And so that's what a relationship and in a friendship, if I know what's gonna piss you off, you know, that's just human nature to just try it a couple times or just do it. And a lot of the times we need to like let go of our past, in friendships, relationships, all that, just let go of the past because we don't have to put them in that close. You know what I'm saying? And you can
Mm.
change the way they going, push your triggers if you just don't let them know your triggers. Even if they didn't know your triggers and they just kind of mess with you, then you need to take a step away and, reevaluate and then come back when you're ready, you know what I'm saying, when you can, handle it.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so I mean, I get that, but what happens whenever you're talking about intimacy? Like, you can't take a step away from your relationship because I feel like if that's your partner, they're supposed to
Mhm.
know everything. Like, because
Mhm.
like they're supposed to know your triggers.
True.
So,
Well, we shouldn't label it as a trigger. I don't like when you
right,
did
okay.
this. I feel like you're not respecting me when you do this. I mean, it could be presented in a different way other than a trigger.
So verbiage.
Right.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
Don't give it no power. I feel like trigger gives whatever it is more power than it should have.
So basically,
Mine
I
is
get
a
what you
therapist.
so
Okay. That's
so
what he specializes in.
trigger is more like the excuse of why you lashing out. Oh, because you messing with my triggers. You get what
Hmm.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. It gives it
Yeah.
power. Yeah.
Hmm.
So take your
Steroids.
power back then.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that.
So basically, just okay. So take your power back from that person, and then that way you're not
Hmm.
okay. That's fair.
That's
Salisha
not easy to
said, "You
do.
better preach,
Do
Keon."
y'all think?
I mean, but why though? Okay, so you said that it's not easy to do, but why do you feel like taking your power back is not easy to do? I mean, because it's not. I just want to know like why you feel like it's not easy to do.
Sometimes it could be more than it's like a bond, like power bond. I can't really explain like how I can't get deep into it like that. But it's not easy.
Hmm.
It's just not easy. I just can't explain, but it's just not
I,
easy.
I think I know what you
I
mean.
would say it's
It's
easier
hard to try to
said.
for me to
Mhm.
explain it, but it's not easy all the
I
time
think I think
with
I get it.
everybody. I
It's
guess it all
easier said than
depends on
done.
the relationship, the
Sorry.
the bond. It all depends. I hate him. All that butter up here,
Butterware.
up
Nothing but the
here.
butter on my chest, baby. You see that chest
Hey, yeah.
gleaming?
But for real, Keon, it is hard. Like I guess it all
It is.
depends on
No. It is
the
hard.
relationship, the bond, all that good stuff. It ain't just easy to just take your power
But
back.
I get what she's saying
but
about that
to
because
start, oh, I was going.
go
To
ahead.
start to piggyback off of what you're saying, yeah, it's not easy, but you start the process by letting your no be no and your yes be yes.
Mm.
If you
Yeah.
say I'm not gonna
Mm.
tolerate that, then don't
Yes.
tolerate it. You know what I'm saying? Don't give it no energy if that's not something that you're interested in. And by the time you
Right.
keep doing that a couple times, they'll get with the program or they'll get out the door. You know what I'm saying? They gonna either do what they supposed to do or they gonna walk.
Yeah.
So
That's right. You true. That's true. For real.
But
I
I see
feel
what you
that.
mean by it being hard is like if you have already allowed that person to kind of step on you a little bit and you
Too
trying
much.
to get you and you trying to take your power back, that's when it becomes difficult because you didn't set those boundaries in the beginning. So
And y'all, and I won't even say about it's about okay, because we all like throw around the boundaries where straight, we throw around boundaries, but here honestly, like here recently is when I started protecting my boundaries from people. Like that's also hard because once you start a habit, it's hard to break. So I'm 26 years old and I haven't been setting boundaries. So now it's like, okay, I'm starting now. Now I got to piss all these people off because I'm saying no. And I'm a people pleaser. So I see why she say it's hard because it's like, I'm this person and I'm trying to transform into my new self. And that's going to cause disappointing some people. And disappointment, I hate disappointing people.
I don't
So
want to do that
it's about
to certain
your
people.
yes being your yes and your no being your no. And that was one of my goals, like to say no and be okay with my no and not having to explain why I said no or feel guilty about my no. And
So I need to make that my goal
that's
because I don't know
boundaries.
how to say no.
Like people need to respect people's no's and not take it personal. Like just because I said no, it don't like it's nothing against you. Like people go through stuff.
So Alicia said, and let them know where they had you effed up respectfully.
So
Disrespectfully.
okay, so that goes back to episode 2. Whenever I was like, you read people sophisticatedly. Okay, nice, nasty. So yeah, just be nice, nasty people. But yeah, so Pam, I definitely feel you. When you say it's hard, it is hard, especially when you did not grow up with those norms. Like setting boundaries was not normal. At least not for me.
And it's hard to start. It's hard to set boundaries, especially when you are a people pleaser or somebody who don't like for people to be mad at you. For instance, when we was starting this podcast and I was like, I don't know how to talk to her about saying like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this together. Because I was nervous and I didn't want her to be mad at me or to take that personally. But I think at the same time, you can't worry about how everybody is going to react to you doing something better for yourself. So
was she mad?
But at the end of the day, you are going to have your sanity regardless of whoever the hell is mad at you. So I feel like that's what mattered.
Yeah, and so as easy as that sounds, though, well, before, like I would say no, and I would not be saying because it's like my no wasn't resonating with my spirit. Like my spirit wanted to say yes, but my mouth and my brain said no. And so those two was like oil and water, like it was not mixing. So you got to pray for that power back, like because that's willpower. And now whenever I say no, okay, like
that's another thing too, though.
You meant that.
Not spiritually aligned enough to set certain boundaries. So like if you claim like, oh, I want to set these boundaries, blah, 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 your mind in another place, your spirit is in another place, your body is somewhere else. It ain't gonna never be right because you're not in tune with yourself. Like Keon said the other day when we was on the phone, if you don't know you don't know what boundaries you need to set.
Ooh, that is good.
So
that's good.
That's right.
Because it's like if you don't know you, then what's the first step to healing? Like you don't know what you need to heal from because you got to really, and it took me, I'm telling you, like for me to face like everything that I had been harboring, it took me to watch an episode of Law and Order, SVU. And as I was watching that, I just broke down crying like, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why are you crying? And then it clicked like, bro, this happened to you and you never talked about it. And now I'm ready to exhale. And so in that moment, I had to deal with it. So you got to know you before you can move forward to know like what you need to do to grow.
Right. And like what we said the last episode, you just got to kind of sit in that trauma or sit in that emotion to figure out why you feeling this way or what's causing you to be the way that you are. Or you're not gonna never get past that because I feel like a lot of people don't like to go under the surface. It's just like
right. They want to put a band-aid on it, a temporary fix when you gotta live through all the stages. Like even when whether it's a friendship relationship, like you go through the 5 stages of grief when it's ending, and you have to
Mhm.
feel every emotion when you going through those stages of grief, because and there's no order, you know what I'm saying? There's no order, and you may go back when you think you forward and you should be done with that emotion. You got to still live through it, and you got to go through it in order to heal.
Feel
And
it, don't be it. Feel the
yeah,
emotion, but don't be
feel
there.
it, don't be. That's right. That's right. Feel it, don't be
And
it.
what that means is feel it. That means it's okay for you to feel that way, but don't go
Mm-hmm.
react and
Mm-hmm.
put a person to this
Mm-hmm.
emotion.
Yes.
Right.
Stop attaching
Y'all
people
talking to
to
me.
your emotions. Start
Mm-hmm.
letting that shit go, because you ain't gonna never get forward. You ain't gonna never go forward with that. When you
Oh,
start, that's like blaming people for. You can blame people, yes, because people have done stuff to you. But when it's time for you to heal, like you said, it's like a part of taking your power back. So you got to say, okay, this is how that person made me feel, but this person don't have control over my emotions no more. So you got to move forward from then. And I feel like that's another problem with us, is like or not everybody, but we, like you said, attach people to certain emotions. So we be holding grudges and thinking we letting go, but you really not, because you haven't gotten over this part of
Mm-hmm.
your life yet. So you just thinking you moving forward, but you really moving backwards, because you're still not letting shit go.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's hard to set boundaries. Whenever you said we attach people to certain emotions, that's why it's hard to set boundaries with those people because they're attached to something.
Right.
It's
True.
like so it's hard to set boundaries with people
Mm-hmm.
if they attach. Like
Right.
So
Or especially if
attach.
that person is feeling
That's
the
why it's
same
hard to let go.
at the same time. Like if they feeling like, let's say if you all were going through something where you lost somebody and you both have that same,
mm-hmm,
emotion, you're going to connect, and you're
got
going
you.
to be more vulnerable for that person, because oh, we went through the same
Yeah,
thing,
you live through it together.
right,
Well, not together, but y'all share the same experiences.
right.
And I think that's fine too. Like
Mm-hmm.
because I think that that does draw people to each other because that
Mm-hmm.
has drawn people to me. About certain situations
Yeah.
and areas in my life. And at first, I was like, "Why is this happening to me? Like
Mm-hmm.
this is horrible. Like this is not supposed to be happening to me. Not I'm a child of God. Like this don't." But then like literally probably like 2 or 3 months later, a person came to me with the same issue, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so he made me go through this to be a
Mm-hmm.
vessel for this person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about again like not so I had to realize this week, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever shit is not happening for me, it's happening for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm gonna say that again. Whenever shit is not happening for me, that's because it's happening for me. So my shit that I want to happen for me is not happening because that's not what God is got cooking for me.
Right.
So with that being said, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah.
We need to dig into that though, because this week been a tough week.
Okay, so everything this week has no since last week has just been I think since like last Friday. It started on Friday when I woke up with some bad news. And I'm like, bro, what the F? Like, I'm doing my part. Like, I'm putting in the work. I'm not getting nothing out. Like, what's going on? Like, nothing was going through for me. Absolutely nothing. And Shauna just was like, is it things that you can control? Because if not, then you need to let it go. Like if you did your part, if you can't control it, then why are you still letting that, startle your spirit? And I'm like, okay, you got a point because I did my part. It's nothing else that I can do. So prayed, prayed. I've been doing my challenge, praying 3 times a week. And I'm telling y'all, it's just like this week alone, like, so the beginning of the week started off horrible, but that horrible was because he had something resonating that was way, way better than what I thought was good for me. So it's just about being patient. Just
Yes.
be patient
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna happen just not the way you want or when
Right.
you want. And then I have personal conversations with guys like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm tripping because you done came through before and I already know you're gonna come through again. So I don't even know why I'm doubting you. Like, my
Mm-hmm.
bad. I apologize for that. Like, so I have those type of conversations with God.
Mm-hmm.
That goes back to, is it me in that situation? Because it is you if you're not being patient and you're
Right.
not waiting on God, spirit, divine, whatever you worship to come through for you, because you're
Mm-hmm.
not trusting it. So whenever you feel like you have your control, when you gotta have control of everything, you're not trusting the universe
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
or God.
And
So if you get to a point where, and I realized that today after my my breakdown, but I just had to take a step back and was like, everything is not in your control. Shit is not gonna always go my way. And I think we kind of spoiled in that aspect because we used to controlling every little part of our life, but you can't control what happens
Okay.
to you. You just, it's how you deal with it that you control.
but what you can control is um like life is a pop quiz.
Mm.
And I feel like God and the universe have prepared you for this quiz. Like the teacher, if you in class and you learning, and the teachers, all life circumstances is teaching moments. It's teaching
Mhm.
moments. You know what I'm saying? You are supposed to take that information and keep it, learn from it, and be able to handle, whatever pop quiz that life throws at you, you're prepared for it. God is not going to put nothing in
Mm.
front of us that he has not prepared for us already. We just, maybe we didn't listen, or it slipped our mind, or whatever the case may be. You were prepared, because if he brought you to it, he's going to bring you through it. Let's be
Okay.
Okay.
honest. you know
Preach.
so you was already prepared, you just forgot. You
I
didn't
don't even
Being
think
soak
we
up the
forgot.
disobedient.
information.
I don't even think we forgot. I just think that we know what be going on, but just like you said, we be disobedient, and two, it's like our focus is not on him, so we missing it.
Right.
Like
Hmm.
our focus is elsewhere, and then we wonder why
Mm-hmm.
our spirit is uneasy. Because on just Friday, I made this long post about my spirit being uneasy. I can't see what's happening next. I'm uncomfortable. This, that, and I was like, you know what? I got to start praying three
Hmm.
times a day. And on
Hmm.
Monday, that was my goal. And now that I actually took that time with him, he's explaining it was here the whole time. But
Hmm.
you've been doing what you want to do. So it's about just sitting there and actually, okay, dealing with it. Like, we don't like to deal with stuff. We don't. Regardless of what it is, life, people, work, we don't like to deal with it. So we take the shortcut. And that's what I was trying to do.
Hmm.
Honestly, I'm gonna give it 100. And no, you have to sit there, deal with it, take accountability, because I even told God, y'all, okay, I know I should have did this sooner. This is my fault. Like, I know I procrastinated. It's my fault. So
Hmm.
I can own up to that. And then I even said, but I did it because, and I stopped myself. I was like, you know what? It's no reason why I did it. I just did it, and I should not have.
Hmm.
So
True.
I can own up to that. So it's about taking accountability, and
Hmm.
you feel better.
You do.
True. 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 I'm
So
proud of you from this week. Honestly. 'Cause
Okay, y'all sound like some preachers on here. Y'all gonna help somebody
okay,
It's giving
for
preacher
real.
vibes. Is
Cause
that what
like
you're saying?
I know I'm in, because I know I'm impatient, and I just need to trust God. So, cause like that's just like y'all talking. I'm like, okay, boom, it's me. I'm being impatient, disobedient.
so
I'm
that's
not getting my nose
accountability.
in. I'm not doing it.
That's
Hmm.
growth. Like, that's accountability.
Yeah,
So,
I'm learning.
and I'm glad you
I'm
said that.
learning.
I'm glad you said that, because now I got a question. Why is taking accountability important for you to grow?
Keon.
You definitely got to take accountability. But why is it important?
Well, I'll go and then
Go
I'll
ahead,
let you go
Kiana.
after me. Okay. You figure your stuff out. To me,
Duh.
taking accountability is very important, because you can figure out ways to fix what you did. Even if you write it down, like, okay, this is where I went wrong, taking accountability, and then you can think of some ways to respond differently the next time, or
Mm,
to move differently. How can I even avoid this
Correct it.
situation happening again? What can I do to avoid it? Because sometimes when you are faced with a situation, you can avoid it, but the question is, did we? But that's what I feel basically.
and before Pam go, I want to add to that. And whenever you are taking accountability, leave your feelings out of it.
Hmm.
Leave your feelings out of taking accountability. Because if you got your feelings in it, you gonna go back the other way. You're not gonna take accountability. Like,
Hmm.
it's okay. We are human. If you
Hmm.
fucked up, so what?
Hmm.
True.
Own it. Apologize and move forward. And if they can't accept the apology, so what? You did
Right.
your part.
Right.
Right. And it was pure.
So leave
Right.
your feelings out of taking accountability.
And also, if you leave your feel, I had my
Y'all
feelings
keep
in
saying
at
it.
first. When I apologized to my friend, my feelings was in it. That was why
No,
I
no,
was
no. Not
expecting.
apologizing, taking
Mhm. Well,
accountability.
yeah, but I think taking accountability, when you taking accountability for something, it always means that you did something wrong, and it's gonna follow with an apology or I'm sorry or whatever.
Right. That's the outcome. But
Right.
I'm talking about like you resonating with yourself, like
Mm-hmm.
taking, like, so this is a personal matter with myself outside of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The
Oh,
accountability
introspection.
portion is you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm leaving feelings out. I'm dealing with me. And that's why I said leave your feelings out of it. Because if you're
Mm-hmm.
considering somebody else's feelings while you're trying to take accountability for something you did,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna go left.
Mm-hmm.
True.
These are
Because you're still going to be looking for that fault, and now your feelings
for
are
real.
playing a part in it. So now,
Mm-hmm.
okay, yeah, boom, I'm gonna make over here, and nah,
Right.
they did that.
Right.
I'm not saying, so no, it's their fault. So that's why I said leave
Right.
your feelings out of it.
It's gonna make them. It's gonna make if you are in your feelings about it,
It's gonna help the situation.
you're gonna be expecting for them to take accountability for something that
Mm-hmm.
they did, and if they don't take accountability,
You're
then
gonna be
you're gonna kind of
upset
be upset, and then you're gonna say, "Well, I ain't taking the blame for this, then since
because
you
they
ain't
didn't do
taking
it.
that,
Tit for
yeah,
tat.
like
That,
you're
yeah.
not helping out with this accountability taking. So no, I can't do it.
If you ain't taking accountability, then me either.
Right.
Yeah, feelings out of it. That was my input on that.
Y'all just touched all the bases on accountability though. Like basically, y'all touched it all.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're accountability partners right now.
Like y'all don't leave me nothing else to say.
okay. So
No, I think it's,
okay.
Y'all don't leave me nothing
there's
else to
still
say. Y'all
stuff to
touched it
say
all.
because being accountable starts with being aware.
But
And
I'm
I
and then like I'm listening and I'm learning at the same time.
but that's good. Growth.
Listen, I
Okay.
am. Yeah. I need this.
Well, y'all got the next question.
What?
So,
Oh.
okay, yeah. So you and Pam got the next question in. Why do we find it so hard to take accountability for our actions? Is it a learned behavior? A pride? Is it pride? You just not wanting to be wrong, or something else?
All of them.
Mhm.
It's
So
all
why
of
do
them.
we find it so hard?
Because
It's definitely
we
not.
human at the end of the day. So don't nobody like being wrong. I don't care what nobody say. You know how people be like, I don't mind being wrong. I can apologize. That's a lie. Don't nobody like being wrong because that forces you to be accountable. And it forces you to look at yourself and say, okay, I wasn't right in this situation. So what the hell did I do? I think that's a big part of why people don't like holding themselves accountable because you don't want to look at yourself in the mirror. And like you said, I agree, you shouldn't involve feelings when it comes to being accountable because you're going to judge yourself in the process of trying to hold yourself accountable, and it's going to make you feel worse. At
Mm.
least for me, anyways, because I know that sometimes I judge how I reacted in a situation when at the end of the day, I have to realize I am human and I'm going to make mistakes and I'm going to do shit that I'm not proud of, but I can come back from that. So I also believe pride is an issue with accountability too, because people just I feel like they go hand in hand with not wanting to be wrong because
Mhm.
it's like, oh well, this is what this person did to me, and I'm the one who this was done to, so I don't have to hold myself accountable for nothing. Kind of
Right.
like an entitlement
Right.
because you don't want to be accountable, so you're trying to hold somebody else accountable for your own actions.
That's selfish
Very,
and fucked up. That
but
makes you a fucked up
we are
person.
selfish.
I'm not fucked up.
Very.
I don't, but I would say nothing
Sometimes.
off more than when I'm taking accountability for something and the person let you take accountability and they don't recognize nothing that they've done,
But
nothing.
again,
That's not up to you though.
that's not on you.
I just
Okay.
that right there. I know it's not up to me, but I'm just not going to deal with somebody like that
Right,
Yeah,
and you
so
don't have
you
to.
already move
because
on.
it takes two to argue. It takes two to get into a dispute. So you done said shit in that argument that provoked me, done made me,
Did
got me
they?
done pissed
Did
off.
they?
Right,
Oh
or did you start it?
Keon
no, they
started.
started. I don't even come out my motherfucking bed. Unless they,
Accountability. You got to take
yeah, I don't
accountability.
even. Now,
Right.
first of
What
all,
is
I
this
already know I'm
episode
hot.
about, Keon?
First of all, I already know I'm
Listen,
right.
he just
That's the
touched
one
all the
part.
pointers. He said all the good stuff just to turn
He
around and do
cannot
that.
take his own advice.
He
I
won't
already
take his
know I'm
own
right.
advice.
See, listen at him.
I already know I'm right. Y'all motherfuckers is wrong, and I know I'm right.
Absolutely.
No, Keon,
If I say I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And you better
you
take
just did
it.
a whole 360.
Or you better take it.
That's that
Or
split
go to hell.
personality. That so
360.
that's what I mean when
Crazy.
so like, and this is why I wanted him on this episode because he's not lying. Like he do know whenever he's wrong, and he will call and be like, "I know that was fucked up, but I don't give a fuck." So they shouldn't have did that. Like he knows, he knows. So just don't fuck with him because I don't know. And
Please
then
don't. Please
no,
don't. I'm
Please.
warning you.
because
Do not fuck
him
with
he is going
Keon.
to do tit for tat, but and after he do his big
My big tipple.
tipper, then he'll come back and take accountability. So he got to get back first before he can apologize.
Right, because first of all, you're not gonna get
Now,
no apology.
that
If I don't,
person ain't gonna accept that big tipper.
yeah, because only reason why I'm apologizing is because I know I won the battle.
You need to meet your match one day.
Oh,
You need to be
I
somebody
hope
that's
he
on the
do.
same level as you. So
I
that
believe
He's
I did
going
meet my
to.
little match. I did meet my little match. You know, I think I did, but you know,
did
I'm
it
a
humble
teacher.
you a little
What
bit?
happened?
No, it did humble you because look at you now. You
Please,
need to meet somebody
ain't
that's
nobody
gonna
gonna
humble
humble me
you.
but
What
God,
happened, Keon?
huh? Oh, my
But
little
go.
friend got me
What
together.
happened?
Got me together. Child, I had to hang that phone up, honey. You got me this time, but just I'm gonna let you know when I call back, I'm coming with the shit.
Yeah, you had to go think of some shit.
I had to go. Ain't nobody picked on me. I got picked on one time in 3rd grade. I went to hell home and thought about what the fuck I was gonna do that next day. I'll let you get off that day. They used to call me monkey face. I said, okay. I thought about all them bitches. I got all them bitches that was talking their shit. I thought about all of them and how their face looked. I got a joke for you. I got a joke for you, and I got a joke for your ass.
Boy, you stupid.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do what I'm
Oh
gonna do.
my God, you are crazy.
They used
Okay.
to call me monkey face.
Okay. So the next question, and we kind of already answered these, but like, what are some ways that we can hold ourselves accountable? And
We
like, what
already
are some ways
answered
that
that
you can
thing.
hold yourself accountable? Like,
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, for sure, having an accountability partner. I mean, I think that works perfectly. Somebody who you know won't take your side because you know
they're
it
your
has to be a
friend.
good. It's gonna only work as good as the person that you pick. Somebody that's gonna
Right.
say, you know, right is right and wrong is wrong, and they're gonna make sure that you know you was wrong. Like they're gonna say, I got your back, but you was wrong. You know, make
That's
sure it's
big.
somebody like
That's
that.
big.
You know, not somebody that's just gonna agree with you because you know you're at this place in your life, or they look up to you, you know, because of what you're doing. Make sure it's somebody that you feel like you all are equally yoked with each other. For sure.
That's big. That is definitely big
And
because
make sure they tell you behind closed doors and don't embarrass you in the middle of that situation if they was present for that. Because I feel like that's a big thing too. I feel like a lot of trust falls into that because if I am wrong, yes, correct me, but don't correct me in front of.
I'm gonna say
But that's a pride
no,
thing.
no, 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 no,
You gotta
no.
check
You need
your
to be
mouth,
corrected
baby
in front of
girl.
people.
Yeah, because
You
I'm
got.
gonna get
I
you
think
when
it's
you got
okay to be
me.
corrected in front of people.
Huh?
Don't correct me behind closed doors. Correct me in front of people because
No.
if you,
Remember that. You
yeah,
remember that.
no, yes.
Yeah.
I
You
need
gotta
you to
get them where
correct
they
me while
got
I'm
you
in
at.
front of people
Yes,
because if
ma'am.
I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Well, it depends
You
on the
can't do
situation.
that behind closed doors.
It depends.
I mean, in all situations. If I'm
No.
wrong, I'm wrong. Don't wait until we behind closed
But
doors.
I would say that every
I don't
situation
think.
is different. I would say we have to play that by
By
depending
ear,
on the
yes.
situation. Because if it's a big heated argument and I know that person was wrong and it could lead up to them almost fighting or something, you know, I'm not gonna say, oh,
okay.
bitch, you was wrong. You know, I'm gonna kind of de-escalate the situation and kind of not really take no sides at that time. You know, I ain't saying you got to take their side even when they wrong, but I'm saying that you want to de-escalate the situation and then, you know, let them know at a later date it was wrong because it's a time and place for everything. So you are right now, depending on the situation, you want to check it kind of like
Also,
that.
because I believe that also because being married, like if I'm in an argument with somebody else and Eric is trying to tell me if I'm right or wrong, I feel like as my husband have my back
Oh,
in
he
the
gonna take the
moment,
heat.
Mm-hmm.
But behind
You
closed
better
doors,
have my back right now, because whenever I get home, it's another argument now with me and you.
right? So have my back behind closed doors, or tell me behind closed doors, or me and you gonna be arguing too.
Right.
Bang bang.
And that's every situation is different. Now I
That's
feel
not
like
right, y'all.
you all do need to stay on the same
Okay, Pam.
page.
Okay, so Pam keep yelling, "This is not right." Okay, prime example. Boom. Had you been at my house that night, whenever that incident happened with me and oh boy, and I hit him first and he hit me back, you're not gonna tell me in that moment that Patty, you wrong. You shouldn't have hit him. You're not gonna tell me that, because you're gonna be ready to go to war because so yes, and I know you. And
Right.
then afterwards, you're gonna be like, you had us fighting that boy. You should have kept your fucking hands to yourself. That's something you would have said.
Right. That's
So
very
no,
That's very Pamela of you.
and that's
That's
checking
me all
me.
day. But
Okay, and
still,
that's
don't
checking
do,
me behind
don't do
closed
that.
doors, because you didn't check me in front of him. You waited until the situation was de-escalated, and then you told me about myself. So yeah, because
Depending on the situation. So yeah, I'm gonna
yeah, because
agree.
with you show off all the time, but we get you in the car first and then tell you show okay, now you showing off. Like
Yeah,
so,
that's
yeah.
a damn shame. That's a damn shame. I listen. I'm working on me, y'all.
we
All
gonna
right.
we gonna check on
Ooh.
you.
I'm gonna get it together.
Next one is, when do you know that you are causing the issue?
When everybody is saying the same thing. When everybody starts saying the same thing and everybody starts saying, you crazy or you have unrealistic
That's not
expectations.
true. Because think about being a kid though,
Mm-hmm.
and your family, like that's just their mindset, and they telling you you're crazy. I ain't crazy. Like acting like this because XYZ happened, and y'all making me think that I'm crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
people
for
calling people
me,
crazy,
when
I don't
people tell me
really.
I'm crazy,
I don't feel
because
like your family
all y'all
can't
call me
talk they
crazy.
trash.
It don't gotta
I don't feel like
necessarily
family
be
count.
crazy. Just think about situations that keep happening to you. If you
Right.
keep
Okay.
going through the same situations and you getting the same outcome, then that's when you need to take a look at yourself. It don't
Mm-hmm.
have to necessarily be somebody calling you a name or whatever. It could be, for instance, when me and Fetty was talking about why we keep losing friends.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, that's when you go inside and be like, okay, now I need to look at myself, because bitch, you done lost like 4 friends already this year.
Right.
So
Right. And check your for me, when I know it's me, when I look at my block list and I look at it and I can scroll down and keep strolling down, I'm like, oh damn, well, it might be you. Cause
Everybody can't be pissing you off.
everybody can't be pissing me off. Like prime example, like I've only been in one relationship. But like after that relationship, the getting to know phase with other guys, um 2 weeks, if in the 2 week frame, if I talk to you more than 2 weeks, then then you must be worth something, because in them 2 weeks, if you try me any kind of way,
And
cuss the
y'all,
fuck out, block.
he is not lying. He be pissing me off because he can call me one day. Oh, I'm getting married on next week. Call him 3 days. Oh, how's it going? Oh, bitch, I blocked him. What? Like,
Yeah.
and I tell
Crazy.
him all the time, Keon, it's you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people can say, I'm gonna call you right back, and they call him back 3 hours later, no, because he shouldn't have said right back. I'm like, bro, that what is you?
Keon crazy.
you
It was
are.
one situation, Lord, 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 Lord. This is the one where I knew it was me. And I'm working on it because it was recently. Um, the guy was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you on a date." I said, "Oh, that'll be nice, whatever, whatever." And he ended up being late, but he was like 12 minutes or something like that. And I was like, what's up? What are you? And he was like, I'm on the way, should I think he said he was 12 minutes away or something like that. And I was like, he was like, should I turn around or, and I said, well, if you gonna get here 12 minutes later, I said, well, you should turn around, and ruin the whole thing. And he had really gotten he didn't really say nothing that night or whatever. But then after that, we ended up talking about it, and he ended up telling me like, the reason why I was late is because I was getting roses and wine for you, because I never come empty handed anywhere. I always
Dang.
bring. And so that's what made me feel like, okay, damn, you done did too much on that one. And so it made me feel like, well, maybe
You ain't getting wine and roses no more.
exactly. So I'm like, damn, I don't fuck that up. So I was like, damn. And it made me realize that maybe you need to kind of, gather all the details. I felt like even though he was late, if I would have probably let him get there, it could have shifted the whole energy that I had.
It would
Or
have. Them roses
or
and that
ask
wine.
instead of assuming, be like, hey, are you okay? Because anything can happen. So instead of just automatically like assuming the worst, you should have been checking on his well-being. Like, hey, is everything okay? Did you catch flat? Like, you're not here yet.
Right. Did you get
And I
mad?
said, where you at? That was like, what's going on?
No.
I felt
No.
I
where you
thought you
at?
just said that what matters is not what you say, but how you say it. So where
And
you at does
that
not.
is true. That is true.
Where you at is rude.
Well, I didn't say it like
not
that.
rude. Okay, but first of all, so this is very important. Text messages get misconstrued. So if you did not call him and he can hear your voice, if okay, like prime example, let's say me and Chad going on a date and I and like Chad texts me, where you at? Whenever I knew I was supposed to be in there, I'm gonna take that as if, damn, I'm late. He got an attitude. Like, cause it's where you at, not hey. You didn't say hey. You where you at? That's kind of rude considering the situation.
Circumstances.
Yeah. Now, if I just text you casually, like, where you at, Keon? That's different. So text messages can be misconstrued. That's why before y'all be sending these text messages, look at it, read it, and then if you would get
Over
offended,
and
do
over.
not send that shit. Period.
And
But
make
for
sure you're
me,
using the correct words too.
exactly.
Yes.
But for me, in my specific situation, if he would have, for me, I just know if I'm going on a date with somebody and I'm late, first of all, you're gonna be late before you're late. That's for one.
Okay, he could have
You're gonna be
communicated.
late.
Yeah, he could have.
If you know that it's finna be time for the date and you're not in place and you know you ain't gonna be in place, why don't you follow up with that person? Why should I have had to hit you up to see what was going on?
That's
So at
valid.
this point, I'm feeling disrespected. You don't have no respect for me. So then I'm like, oh, I gotta show him you're not gonna play these games with me. So you could turn around. I want you to get almost here, and you need to turn around. So that's what I,
Keon,
that may not be right.
you a problem.
In my mind, that's what I was thinking. And one thing about it is, if it's in my mind, in my head, my perception in my head, that's my reality. If I say you punch me in the face, that's what happened.
No, 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 no,
so
no,
my perception is my reality.
no. You need to
Get him,
take
Shauna. Get him. Because he's crazy.
no. You need to take your accountability, like we said, and you need to take into account all of the factors. So yes, he didn't communicate. He could have, but like Fatty said, what if something was wrong to where he couldn't communicate with you? Because then you would have felt bad if he had gotten to a wreck or something. You like, where you at? Turn around. Because at this point, you wasn't even checking on him. You just mad because he didn't come
He
on
12 minutes
time, and
late.
that's not fair.
That's
And then when I
not
thought
fair.
about it, I was kind of like, a little bit like, oh, because in another time, I was told that when you're getting to know somebody, you don't allow room for error. And so, and that is true, because for me, that helps me in my mind, that helps me weed out who it makes it easier for me. So like for me, I think of when you're getting to know me, it's a job. And it is. It very much so is a job, because when you first go to your job, you presenting your best self. You're not late, and if you late, they're gonna let you go from that job. You getting to know me, I don't set expectations, but for me, this is for me. Like, this is how I have to feel. This is how you have to make me feel when you're getting to know me. And I already let that be known up front. So whenever you don't do that, for me, it's like, oh, you don't respect me. Have a nice day.
Oh,
because I'm already letting you know, hey, this is what I don't tolerate.
Okay, but look though, and so this is I don't know if y'all saw this, but whenever what's her name? B Simone made this, her Instagram. Okay, you got all these expectations, but
Mm-hmm.
like for a person, but if that same person come with this same checklist that you got, are you willing to, like, are you able to give the same thing that you're asking for?
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
and I mean every aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Prime example, if you post, and Keon, you know you bad with time. If you supposed to be going on a date with somebody and you 12 minutes late, and let's say you were stopping getting gas and they text you, be like, where you at? You going off. So, and what I mean by that is put yourself in that same situation before you react,
Mm-hmm.
because we react off of impulse. So sit down, think about it, resonate like before you act, because actions and words is shit that you can't
Mm-hmm.
get back. And then after you said that, you felt bad because he was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, I was getting you roses. Dang, you talk too much."
Mm-hmm.
And analyze it first before you, you know, like just before you respond.
Well, I'm
Analyze the
gonna
whole
re-
situation.
I'm gonna have to respond, and I'm gonna say I will never ask something of a guy that I'm talking to that I'm not gonna do for them. Now I will say that, like, when I think about stuff like that, because I feel like it's one of those things where, like, it's not fair. So if I'm saying don't be late, and it's not, and here's the thing, it's not about being late, it's about the follow-up, it's about the communication. So for me, if I'm gonna be late, or if you was late, I think common courtesy is to let me know you're gonna be late, and I should be, this is my estimated time of arrival, whatever, whatever. And so for me, I'm not gonna ask for something I can't do. No, that's why for me, when you talking to me, I'm not talking to no broke nigga. I'm not talking to nobody who I got to, and I shouldn't, nigger's not a good word to use. I'm not talking to a broke fella. Let's scratch that. I'm not talking to a broke fella. I'm not talking to nobody that I got to do this and do that and do this and do that. Because for me, I told myself I'm gonna be the person that I want to meet. I'm gonna be the person that I want to meet. I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna be dedicated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get me a job in my career. I'm gonna be dedicated to that. I'm gonna make money. I'm going to do all these things so I can call the shots. If I want to, I'm gonna get a good job, because if I want to eat steak and potatoes every day, that's what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I am who I want to meet.
But that's also true. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be done with this topic.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't expect you from everybody.
Exactly. You right.
You can't. So if I go in every relationship expecting them, to like to beat me 100%, I'm setting myself up for failure, because everybody, and that's like relationships, friendships, anything. And I really had to sit in that, like, Fatty, everybody is not you, and you cannot expect everybody to respond to situations the way that you would. And
Mm-hmm.
I had to take people's response for what it was, because that's their response. And I had to be okay with their response to situations. And that's hard, because I want people to be me. I want people to, but everybody don't do what Fatty do. And I had
That's
to realize
unfair
that.
because you're placing expectations upon them that they probably don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
it's kind of like you putting people on a pedestal to a certain extent.
And you can't
Mm-hmm.
do that.
You can't do
Yeah.
that. I do it all the time, babe.
Unless you're
I do
gonna
it.
communicate
Yeah. And I think that's
Right.
what,
It need to be communicated.
and we get ourselves upset because, again, that's us trying to control things that we cannot.
hmm
So yeah, we causing our own self, what's the word I'm looking for?
Frustration. I
Yeah.
mean, confusion. I mean, all that.
All right. That was a good topic. So okay. So how, okay, well, we kind of already talked about that. Like, how you own up to a problem. You just apologize. Um yeah, to me it's just
Mm-hmm.
taking accountability, realizing what the issue is,
Mm-hmm.
and then strategizing to make it better. Like,
Right.
actually come up with a plan to make it better, because this react like, just reacting to impulse,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what you are.
Yeah.
You
Oh
are
yeah.
He react off impulse. Like, if he in a rage in that moment, he's going to destroy something, and you got to stop,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because
Crazy.
he's very impulsive.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it
Don't.
makes you feel better, but you need to get a stress ball or something,
Mm-hmm.
because
Child.
all
Ah,
right,
man. Body just,
Let's
body
wrap it
just.
up. How do y'all feel about this episode, Pam and Keon?
I feel
Y'all
good today.
good. I like it.
Yeah. And I really do
But
like.
how are you going to proceed forward and being accountable?
I gotta stop being disobedient. I need to get better with my spiritual self too, because I trust God, but sometimes I
I
be
cannot wait to get into that topic because I am these.
I trust God, but it's like when I'm impatient, I'm disobedient. I
And
know
it's
my
hard.
problems. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm delusional to like like me. I know my problems, but it's just like, you know,
I think
actually
it's temper. You have a temper.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
why
do,
though?
but everybody
And
do.
that's no, and that's
No.
everybody doesn't have a temper.
Mm-mm.
Everybody has buttons, and everybody can get there. But a temper is like Keon, when you react off impulse. That's a temper. Something piss you off, and you immediately got to respond, and you immediately got to react. That that's my perception of that.
But I also feel like
No, I don't
Pam,
think about stuff before I do it most of the time.
I feel like Pam's issue is sometimes Pam can be very reckless with her mouth. And I feel like you don't think about what you saying while you saying it. It just spill out like vomit sometimes. Cause you can be very mean. And you know that. So the way to change that is to kind of think about what you saying before you say it, before you send that text, before you tell your friend how they being stupid or whatever. You need to think about what you're gonna say and how you're gonna say it because your delivery be off.
And the moment.
Think of your
Feel out the
intentions and your
But
moment.
I
intent.
Read the
thought people
room.
like it raw.
They do. But however, so me, you can tell me the truth. However, it's feel out the moment. Like, is this a good time for me to say it like this? Or if I want to say it like this, I'm gonna just wait and tell her later. But if I want to tell her now, this move right here not right, so I'm gonna say it this way. So it's about really analyzing
Mm-hmm.
everything before responding,
Mm-hmm.
and not being an impulsive responder.
Mm-hmm.
You
Because
know,
it can be nice. We have had conversations in Mexico where I feel like you were,
Crying.
yeah.
Crying in Mexico.
but
But
Shauna, that was what that's what I was getting to when I was like, so she was like, she got a temper, but why? Let's get to the root
oh yeah,
of
why do you
the
have a
issue.
temper?
Like,
What
why
makes
do you
you
have a
so
temper?
mad?
Because
I know.
that's the step, like that's how you heal whenever you
Mhm.
like really dig into the why of these things. Like that's the first step in healing. And then you know how to change your temper because you know why you have a temper.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like because we all know, but again,
Mm-hmm.
those are just things that we harbor. So it's about you getting in tune with yourself to figure out these things, these areas in your life, and why these areas. Prime example, me, I wanted to know, like, damn, why am I attracted to these type of men? Like, I always get these men. Like, what is it about these men? And thought about it, and I'm like, dang, I date who my mama date. It is what it is. And I'm like, so this is a learned behavior. So now I know what I need to do moving forward to change this learned behavior, do something different. And that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about you asking yourself why, getting the answer, and fixing it.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Oh, and what you were saying about you was like, I think you said something along the lines of I want somebody to tell me the truth or whatever, whatever. I think people get being real and rude mixed up
Mm.
because you can be a real person, but you can be a real rude person too. And
Mhm.
I think that it goes back to
So what am
deliberate
I?
intentions and
Real
impact.
rude.
Yeah, because you can be real rude. And I think you can say anything that you want to say to anybody if you word it right. Because
Yeah.
they say when people say like just for instance, people say like bitch and bitch. That's two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So it's like, you
It's the tone, the
right.
mood, the
Yeah.
setting,
The
all of that takes,
period.
Yeah.
yeah, it's all of that.
So
Fill out the room.
But
mhm.
I think you have the potential to be nicer. It's just you got to dig into that and want to be nicer.
And it's
Stop
not even being,
thinking that
uh,
everybody want it raw because that's how you would want it. But just because
people
you
got
want it that way,
feelings.
don't mean that's how I want to receive it.
Right.
That's true.
And stop treating people the way you want to be treated. They say treat people the way you want to be treated. No, treat them the way they want to be treated. Treat them the way they want to be treated.
True.
Mm-mm.
Because what resonate with you is not gonna resonate with me.
Right.
Yeah. And that went back to me expecting people to
Don't
be
gang up on Pam.
Girl,
so.
this is
And
this is advice for all of
honestly,
us.
and I think me personally, like me being your friend and just looking at it, like just looking at the way that you react or respond to situations, you have great intentions with people. You do have a good heart.
Mhm.
You have a big heart.
Yes,
However, it's I think that again, the way that we behave, like most of the time, is learned behavior or it's a defense mechanism. And I think that your mouth is your defense mechanism.
yeah,
Like this is my power, and ain't nobody gonna fucking step up because
Mm-hmm.
I got a mouth
yes.
too, and that's your defense mechanism because you are defensive too. Like for whatever reason, you are a very defensive person.
Cause she
You
always gotta come back.
you always watching your
Always
back,
gotta come
and you
back.
always think that somebody has bad intentions about you. And honestly, that's something that you got to deal with because not everybody has bad intentions, but you are very defensive.
But it
And
might be because she have a big heart. She just super passionate about stuff. So her way of responding is through passion.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, it's always gonna be a passionate response because she put a lot of passion behind it.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of emphasis on the words. That yeah,
Yes.
put a lot of but overall, I think this was a very
What?
good
It
episode.
was. It was.
It was. I'm glad y'all joined.
Thank you.
Uh, yes, we'll most well, you'll be back. Yeah, y'all will be back. Both of y'all will be back.
Mhm.
Um, so make sure you guys go out and make those goals. Make sure you are checking in with your goals. Make sure you are following through. And because that's been hard for me, like holding myself accountable, like to actually follow through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So hold yourself accountable
Yes.
with this
Mm-hmm.
growth.
And last but not least, who is our black business shout out?
So
Mm-hmm.
first of all, we got one that's
Keon,
cooking right
we go.
here.
Oh
We
yeah,
got
It's
you
him,
see
cooking
the
Keon.
up.
chest. You see how it's sparkling. I can't tell you what it's called just yet.
Come
I
a little
gotta get the
closer, Keon.
name.
Yes, we need to see.
You want to see what the chest is giving?
Come a little closer.
Oh, you want to see what it's giving?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jessica.
See what it's giving. I know them hips. Let me see. Let me see what them hips. Oh, my bad. Oh, sorry. Let me see what the hips giving. But them hips don't lie.
Boy.
But
It will show off.
let's get back to the but. This is body butter, and it's more products to be coming. Just figuring out the logistics of everything. So, but it's coming pretty soon.
And I tried out some of the product actually today on my lips, and it was pretty soft. So
Mm-hmm.
new product coming soon.
I'm
So
excited.
yes.
'Cause you know I
So make
love
sure you
some
guys are tuning
body
in.
stuff.
If you missed this episode, I am sorry that you missed it in live, the raw, but it will be aired on Monday at 11:11.
Normal time. Y'all know what it is. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to Fatty Cakes Podcast. We'll see y'all
See you
next.
next week.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.